The following is brought to you by the Cyber Time Bite Network. Holy crap!
Because Dave's a crow.
It's true though!
Oh, heck yeah.
You are now entering the Serpents Pit with Serpents Breakdown. Now, here's Serpents Breakdown and your host, Stephen Clark.
Hey there, everybody. Well, this isn't actually my podcast. This is a podcast, part of the Cyber Time Bite Network, which is, which I if you haven't heard the intro, because I'm making an intro for this, by the way, I haven't made you. By the time that you hear this, you're probably going to hear it, and hopefully you guys like it. But, this is a new podcast, part of the Cyber Time Bite Network. We already got the Cosplay Machine by Jake Strider. But now we have a more awesome podcast too to add to this network. This, as you probably heard in the intro, this is the Serpent Breakdown podcast, where we literally call it In the Serpent Pit with Serpents Breakdown, and basically what we're gonna do every week. So we're gonna catch up with this bean every single week, and see how Serpent's doing. We're gonna talk about subjects. We're gonna talk about conventions. We're gonna talk about anything. This can go anywhere. And I mean, like, we talk about conventions. We can talk about the '80s. We can talk about '80s music. We can talk about anything nerd related. We're just gonna take that subject and we're just gonna run with it. And
anything that pops into our heads.
Anything that pops into our heads, but this is Serpents Breakdowns podcast, so I'm gonna let you. We're gonna start off by just Serpent introducing herself. Yeah, herself.
Her, they, it.
and we're just introduce yourself. Tell people about who you are and all that. Let the people know.
All right. Well, I'm Serpents Breakdown. That's my general screen name on most stuff. Either that or Green Zor, but that's just my DeviantArt because I can't change that. And I usually go by like Rhiannon or Brian if you're lazy, or various other nicknames. And I forgot. I cosplay and stuff like that. Yeah, basically me.
Yeah, it's I mean, like, it's pretty cool. I mean, like, I met for my personal interest, for not my personal interest, but for my personal story, I met Serpents Breakdown a few years ago at Anime Midwest 2016 for the very first time, and this being sorry, I call you a bean because it's just funny. But no, when I met this person, like, all those years ago, like she was Terezi, and yeah. I loved it, and I was like, I love it. Can I like take a photo of you? And I did that. And after that, we haven't talked like. After that situation, we didn't talk for a long time, and then she came on the podcast, and then we had a great podcast episode, which led me into meeting another guest that's been on Cyber Time Bite, Tiff, and then that led into meeting 19 Toothless 98 that was also on the podcast, and then that's what started that whole thing, and now we all know each other, and now we're like, well, at least for me and the others, we're like now we're all pretty good friends. And this one I don't really talk to that much, and I feel bad. And this podcast,
All right.
this podcast will hopefully bloom that a little better. So the first subject we're going to talk about today on episode 1 of the Serpent Breakdown podcast is that we're just gonna start off with where what was your birth year, and what's your birth year, and were you born in Illinois?
Well, I was born in 2001, year of the snake. Love snakes. And
Can't tell.
yeah, I was born in Illinois. Yeah.
So you lived your whole life. You didn't live anywhere else and then come here. You lived your whole life.
Yep.
How was growing up then? Obviously after passing the baby stages and you're like an actual like little kid at this point. How was that point of your life like?
Pretty great. The most significant things I remember are those really old Apple computers and, well, VHS. We have a VHS player, we still use it, and we still VHS tapes. I love the VHS.
VHS is amazing. I was born in '93 and they were hot back then.
Yeah.
I mean,
another significant thing I remember, I think, is wow, I just blanked. Mid-sentence. There it goes. Bye-bye.
Hashtag blinked out. But no, I mean, to help you summarize back on that idea, I mean, you were talking, VHS tapes, you're not a 90s kid, technically, you're a 2000s kid, so,
I'm a 90s kid at heart.
At heart you are, yeah. But how did it feel for you to, to grow up in the 2000s as opposed to, me who grew up in, the mid-90s?
Well,
Because, the 2000s were, a whole different ball game compared to growing up in, in the mid-90s,
Well, there were lots of phones. I remember my parents going through lots of phones. At one point, we had one of those I believe my mom had one of those ones where the screen slid over the keyboard. And at one point, I think they also had flip phones before they went into Apple phones. That's one thing I definitely remember.
Yeah, they had a lot of phones, a lot of phones and stuff.
Yeah, because they would go through them as they not as they came out, because my dad's a little cheap, but they would go through a bunch of the different stages of phone.
Was it during this time in your life, in your childhood there, that you got your first phone, or did your first phone not come?
No, I got my first phone in junior high. It was a flip phone.
Flip phone. I didn't get my first phone until I was in high school.
Oh yeah, fun fact. I didn't get an actual phone that wasn't a flip phone until my junior year.
I can't say the same, unfortunately. So is there something from your childhood era there that you really miss that you don't have now that you wish you had?
Well, when I was younger, and we still go to them, not as many, but my dad is part of this group known as Mensa, and it's basically this group of smart people, and they play games and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we would always go to these things like Mini-Con and whatnot that I really enjoyed going to. We still go to Halloween, but Mini-Con was and Halloween had a really big impact on my childhood, because one of the most distinct things I remember is that I would always have the greatest time there playing board games like Munchkin and Flux, and also this one game Illuminati that I love. And it's just they're one of some of my most distinct memories because I always had such a great time there, and we don't really go to minicon anymore because my dad doesn't like the speakers that they keep bringing in. Like I want to go there for the games and the people, even though you don't like the people either, apparently.
Well, when you eventually get your license, when you start driving, you can go there whatever you want.
Hell yeah. Like, I'm pretty, not like well known at them, but I'm known to all my dad's friends as Bradley's kid.
But I mean, the thing, the thing is, though, is that, at least you're known at your own little local thing right there.
I mean, it's not exactly the most local. Like, we go up to, into Minneapolis for Minicon. Obviously, it's named Minicon. And Halloween is about a half hour at most drive as well. It's not the most local, but it's pretty local, I guess. Since we also go to the monthly meetings as well, which my dad also is now reluctant to go to.
So since that affected, since that was like a big part of your childhood, and that was the biggest one that you missed the most, after, well, I guess when you hit junior high, you're out of your childhood, but then after your childhood technically ended and you hit junior high, is that where the cons started coming into your life? And
towards the end of junior high, like 8th grade, although I think it was more like freshman year of high school, really, where I went. Freshman or sophomore years where I went to my first con, I think. And it was a last minute one day Saturday thing. And I last minute went through on a last minute Terezi cosplay. Although I had known about the con beforehand, I think, and I'd been trying to like make a cosplay for it, because at the time I had already made the horns. I think, yeah, I'd already had the horns, but that was about it before I ended up getting thrown at the convention, basically.
Yeah.
Because when we went to that con, it was just I knew about it in advance, and it was just Saturday, and I didn't realize that the con had come yet because I didn't really keep track of dates. And my dad's just like, all right, we're going to Dynamic Convention. I'm just like, oh shit, fuck, what?
I think, I remember talking about on my podcast, Cyber Time Bite, about you going to the first convention of you, because because I remember you were talking about how your dad was at the convention, signed up for the Mensa thing at the convention.
Yeah.
And you were the Terezi, and then my boy called you over.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Actually, that one actually might have been my meeting. Might have been at my second con, actually, because I remember that I think I actually had an actual Terezi shirt that time. Because my first con, I just hung out with these Homestucks that I met there the entire time, and when I was with you, I definitely remember being alone.
Yeah, when you met me at the convention.
Yeah, might have been my second con then. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that was Anime Midwest. My first con was one day at ASIN. Yeah.
Did whatchamacallit? We gotta talk about your music influences. We're not gonna talk. That's not today's subject about the music part, but did your music influences come from your childhood, or do your music influence come in?
Definitely a little bit, because for starters, we have The Labyrinth partly starring, in my opinion, starring David Bowie as Jareth the Goblin King. We own that on VHS. And watched that a bunch. And honestly, otherwise, I think my music was mostly influenced by 80s stuff. Although I can't really remember the exact time or what it is got me into the 80s. It was partly just movies that we owned at home, I think. And just at some point, it kind of just evolved into an obsession with 80s stuff.
So first it was Labyrinth, and then The Breakfast Club, and then stuff.
Well, I only actually saw The Breakfast Club a few years ago when we got it on DVD. My mom got it for me for my birthday, I think, and like a few other 80s movie on a DVD. And before that, I was already pretty into the 80s, which is why she got them. I think it's just the fact that a lot of the movies we own at home are like from the past. Like another movie I enjoyed was the Back to the Future trilogy.
Oh yeah, I love those. I was about to ask you about that. Those movies are amazing.
Yeah, I don't think it was really ever one thing though. It just was kind of just everything kind of mashed together all over time.
What was
one thing led to another?
What was your favorite? No, in order. What's your favorite ones? Back to the Future 1, 2, or 3? What's your orders of those? Because they're all pretty good. They're all good movies, but
they're all good. The first one's definitely the best though, and I like I think I just go in the order 1, 2, 3 because the third one wasn't my favorite. Because if I remember correctly, that was the one where they flew into like cowboy times or whatever.
Yeah,
I definitely like the first two better than the last one. The last one was good, but like cowboys, why?
Yeah, I mean they went from going to the 50s to going to 2015, which
oh yeah, it was 15. Yeah, 19 was the Undertale thing, right? I mixed them up there for a second.
No, it's all right. And then the third one, they went to 1885, which was supposedly the Western. I don't know if in real continuity if that was actually the Wild West, but
probably. I mean, I can understand them being wrong with 2015, but it's hard to get wrong something that happens in the past, unless you get it wrong, I guess.
Just like your mentality in the past.
Yeah. Oh, if I could fix my mentality in the past. Oh, that'd be nice.
No, because by the third episode, we can talk about the Aki Bento box. Or no, wait, we can talk about your Aki Bento box at the end of every episode. About like we can predict about the Aki Bento box. But yeah, I mean, like, so junior high, that's when you were just like getting into all this 80s stuff and getting into like who you were forming to be as a person, right?
I mean, to be exact, I did like some stuff from the 80s, like the Labyrinth and stuff like that, but I never really was getting into it was really more of like a sudden immense interest during high school for the 80s. During the junior high, I was more into I was still into anime, of course, but I was more into like dark and gory stuff.
Oh, you were like going through your emo phase in junior high?
I mean, you could call it that, but it was more like just, I mean, I'm still really into gory, so I was just really into just murder and stuff like that. Still am, but like not as much because, I mean, I'm good at writing murders and I'm pretty decent at drawing certain gory things, but like at that time, I don't know, I was just going through a weird stage.
So between junior high and high school, there, like that middle period, who was a person that really like changed your life, like changed
Bowie.
Bowie for sure. At that point, right there.
I don't know, maybe not exactly right then, but Bowie's always kind of been changing my life.
But how about like people that you actually know? Like, I know Bowie's like big in your life, but how about people you actually know?
For people I actually know, I'm not really sure if I should say their full names, so I won't. I'm just going to say letters of the names because I don't want to be just like calling out my friends on the internet.
No, it's fine.
But like in 8th grade, I met my friends Squid, which is my awesome nickname for her.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll just come up with nicknames on the spot for the others. Jellyfish and my emo gay friend.
Okay.
Well, she's literally is, okay? She's emo and gay.
I mean, like I seen crazier things in the world, so that's nothing to me.
Yeah. But I met them during 8th grade. Might have met them a little bit during 7th, but I met them during 8th grade, and I've been kind of friends with them since. I don't really talk with them all that much as of late, but I'm still like good friends with them, I think. Yeah. And Squid And the emo one really liked anime. Although recently she's not as been interested in anime as of late. She's been more the my well, she was really into like drawing art and stuff like that, but she's actually a really big fan of Yuri Nice, which was really cool. But not the point. They kind of had a pretty big impact because they were people I could definitely like hang out around a lot. Like I still had some other friends, like my friend Jessica, who comes with me to cons a lot. I don't mind calling her out because I call her out when I'm talking about conventions and with my friends at cons. Like, yeah, this is my ride, Jessica.
Yeah.
And like Jessica I met actually in 6th grade actually because she was 2 years ahead of me. But I'm definitely closer with her than the other 3 because she definitely still lives around here. I think Anne is the emo gay one. I already said Anne, too late now. She still lives around here, but I don't really talk with her as much lately, just because we forget to. But I forgot where I was going with this.
No, you're basically saying that those guys changed your life, and they were basically like they helped you into 8th grade into high school.
Yeah, because like Jessica is the reason like I met a bunch of like because of Jessica I became friends with a bunch of her friends. Like Jessica is actually partly the reason I got into Homestuck because her friend Liam and I guess Dakota too. We're like into Homestuck, and before then I had kind of already known about it. I didn't really understand that it was called Homestuck. I didn't get it at all, but they're kind of the ones that pushed me to read it, Liam did. And I wouldn't have gone to Homestuck without meeting Liam, for sure.
Did he, well, obviously he got you into it, but like, did you down the road get the books, like the physical books?
I haven't gotten the books yet, no, but they've got the first 2 copies at my library.
Still?
Yeah.
From when we did our original podcast all that time ago, they still have them?
Well, yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy.
I think they've gotten a few more.
I bought the first 4, so I have the first 4 right now. No, but that was really awesome. Then then you got into high school, you got older, your mentality got a little wiser and you were going, and obviously everyone goes for their body changes and all that stuff because high school does that to you.
Me, all I did was get a little taller. Only a little.
A little taller.
Still short.
And so you're into Homestuck now. You're loving the 80s. You're just doing all this. You love all this crazy stuff. You're basically Serpents Breakdown without the Serpents Breakdown yet. When did cons get what part again did you say that cons get layered on top of that when you're in high school?
About junior high, or not junior high, junior year. About then, I'd say, I think, if I remember correctly. I probably don't, but it was around then.
So how was like your freshman and sophomore year then? Like before convention?
Homestuck.
Just Homestuck?
Yeah, and a bit of Full Metal Alchemist as well, I think. But before then, junior high was mostly Full Metal Alchemist and Black Butler, but then freshman, sophomore is when I really dived into Homestuck. So I got into it around when it ended. Like, I showed up when we started getting updates, blah, 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 then it ended.
So were you cosplaying Terezi or anyone in your freshman or sophomore year before you took it anywhere?
Definitely not. I was trying to put together something like for Terezi because she was my favorite then. Still love Terezi, but now it's all Hive Swap Friends right now.
Right.
Because I found my troll David Bowie. It's Marvis. He's David Bowie, except more rapping and a bit more horny.
Oh God! Are you sure about that?
Yes, he is literally. He's not only is he in the purple blood area, which is what David Bowie would be. He's also a musician. he's got really not well. Doesn't have the same personality, but really similar personalities. So like, I feel like if Bowie took the extended zodiac test, he gets Marvis's sign, whatever that is, definitely. And he also has a land dolphin Lucis, which is what David Bowie would have. David Bowie would have a land dolphin Lucis. I have thought really hard about a David Bowie troll.
So, yeah.
Dolphins and like spiders from Mars. Like my idea for a David Bowie Lucis was like mixing spiders and dolphins. Because my when I asked my friend what animal would work, they're just like dolphin. And I'm just like, and I wanted to include his whole spiders from Mars thing. So, and since it needed to be on land, so I gave it spider legs. Land dolphin. It's a land dolphin, and Marvis has a land dolphin Lucis.
That you love Bowie so much, man, that you just like freaking just were like homestuck it.
Yeah, I did homestuck it. I drew 4 different versions of his troll call for different stages in his life. I came up with a sign and horns.
No, can you imagine just like crowd control, the Major Tom? and
He's a star. During that phase, he's Star Troll.
No, and then Equus is in the rocket, and it's good. And he's just going like 1, 2. And then when the part where it goes like ground control, when it looks like he's busting into the room, Dave just comes in and he goes like ground control, the Major Tom. He's really big red. I love that song.
It's such a great song.
Obviously you know Ziggy Stardust, right? That was another Bowie song that came out.
Yeah.
That song was pretty good. It's on Guitar Hero, so that's all I know about it.
Yeah, it's such a good song. It's the song that kind of like he was always around, but then it was Starman and
No wait, we should save all this talk for when we actually are going to be talking about Bowie and your music.
Let's save that for another episode.
But no, I mean, but then your junior year, but then you're doing your thing in your freshman and sophomore year. Then your junior year comes around, you start going to cons. Who was like when you start going to cons? Who was the first person you met, or the person that you met at a convention who really changed your life, con wise?
Well, I'm just gonna go with the first person I met first part there, because the first person I met at ASIN, the first time I went. So when I went there, I had just kind of threw it together a Terezi cosplay last second. I already had a red cape, so I used that. And I can't remember if I had a scale mate then or not. I might not have. But I took a black shirt and taped with teal tape her symbol onto it. Tape did not stay, but I tried.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing at that point in time, I was ridiculously shy. And when I was there, I was in the dealer's room, because that's obviously where my dad was. And I went out to go see and do whatever you do at cons. I had no idea what to do, but I wanted to make friends. And I saw an Equius and an Aradia sitting up against a wall. Now, if I remember correctly, they were vaping, but that didn't bother me. I'm just like, they look really awesome, and I want to be friends with them. But I didn't know how to talk to them, so I was pacing back and forth, glancing at them, trying to figure out how to talk to them. Now, they clearly saw me, because they kept looking over at me, and they could see that I was looking back at them, trying to figure out how to talk to them. So eventually, the Equius called me over, and I got to hang out, and I hung out with them and their friends for the rest of the con, and it was really, really awesome. Which had a pretty big impact on me. I keep trying to find them, but I can never find them. I actually have the Rose's phone number. I don't know if she changed it, but I somehow ended up with her phone number because, as to not lose track of them or whatever, because I made friends or something. I can't remember. But I technically still have her number, but I can never figure out, how to find them. Now, I can recognize the Rose if I see her, but that's it. I can't find the Equius or the Aradia or the Jade.
That's pretty cool. Maybe you should maybe someday or sometime at some point in the future you should get in contact with her and be like, hey, do you still remember these guys? Do you know what they're up to these days or whatever? Social media, whatever.
At some point I'll try, yeah, but I don't know. Right now, it just seems like it'd be a bit weird. It's probably gonna be weirder the longer I wait. Just like, hi, you remember like 5 years ago when I met you and I was just this random Terezi? Yeah, that's me.
Like, no, like, see, I'm big. I'm a bigger name now. No, okay.
Well, not really a bigger name with my like 100, if that, followers. I can't even remember. I don't know if I even have 100 followers. I might have 100 followers. Oh no, I don't know.
So I gotta throw out the elephant in the room here that I
Is
haven't
it me? I'm the elephant in the room.
no, the other elephant in the room, the one, the one that the one that I haven't talked about yet. Obviously, this goes in with your con stuff and all that stuff, but obviously down the line you met Tiff,
Yes.
and how did she affect your life and where
Oh,
and all that?
well, let's see. When I first met Tiff, I went to the very first Homestuck Circus Stuck panel. That's where I met her. Went to the first panel, joined it after that.
Yeah, what after that?
I joined the panel after that. I became a Circus Stuck.
Well, as you know, this past circus stuck at the past one that was my first one I was ever part of, and I feel like I did a great job. Do you feel like I
You
did
did a pretty good job, yeah.
Yeah, are you saying that or are you legit?
I'm legit. I just tend to laugh at everything, including myself.
No, it's all right. But yeah, I mean, you did a great job too. I mean, like you brought your whole scale me and all that stuff, and you just brought all your stuff, and you did a great job.
Hell yeah. At some point, I really want to go to a con that comes around Halloween, because I actually have 2 Halloween scale mates.
How many first of all, just to stay on the subject, I mean, how did she affect your life, and then after that, like you can talk about your scale mates and how many you have and whatever.
Yeah. Well, she had a pretty big impact because, like, I didn't know her before the Circus Stuck panel, and I went to the panel. It was like the last day. It was a Sunday, so there weren't too many people there, and I had a really great time at the panel. And I got a kazoo. I actually have 2 kazoos now, and it was really fun. I figured I asked her what her Instagram was, and after that, I joined the panels, and we talk a lot every once in a while. So around cons, we definitely talk a lot, I think. And I don't know. I think I think, at least I hope we're pretty good friends. I think we're good friends. And I don't know. I enjoy talking to her. She's fun to be around.
Yeah, she after you recommended her to be on my podcast, Cyber Time Bite, we've been getting along ever since, and we talk a lot and all that stuff too. I mean, thanks for thanks for introducing me to her, because she's amazing. Man, she's gonna hear this and she's gonna be like, oh shucks.
That does actually sound like the right terminology that she would use. She sounds like the type of person who would say shucks.
She does say that. She says,
oh yeah.
That's her thing. That's pretty cool.
I don't really hear the shucks a lot, though. I just don't happen to not be around when she says it every time, I guess.
But like,
I might have heard it once, which is why it sounds so correct.
what are those gifts that you made for her though? I mean, they looked cool. I mean, I saw a scale made and a little.
Hell yeah.
What were those?
And a little tiff.
You made a little tiff?
A little tiff that is dressed as Circus Stuck Car Cat, and then she can change it into a little Dave, because she cosplayed Dave a long time ago. I was going to add a few more outfits, but I didn't get the chance.
That's pretty cool. How you made all that for her? Man,
heck yeah.
That's amazing. No, but like, what's the scale mate supposed to be?
It's just a bumpy, soft little scale mate. That one was the Christmas present.
That was pretty cool though. I mean, you did a really nice job on all that really. But you're also a really creative person too. I mean, like you're pretty damn good at making scale mates.
Yeah, I pretty much sew most of my cosplays, and I also make scale mates. I also draw, so that helps because I had to design some of the variations for the scale mate. Like I had to figure out how to make it so I can stab a knife through my target scale mate, and the Halloween ones I had to redesign the patterns.
So, so speaking of the patterns and scale mates, let's talk about your scale mates now.
Hell yeah!
How many do you have? How many have you bought? How many have you made? And how many do you
I
have
haven't
in
bought
general?
any. That's the answer to that one.
You haven't bought any. You made them all yourself.
Heck yeah! Why should I buy them if I can make them?
What
Much
was
cheaper. I can make mine for like 25 cents or something.
how many? What? When did you start making them, and when did they start become a thing in your life to be making
Well,
scale mates?
I started making them after I started cosplaying Cherezi. And that was I actually might have started making them around freshman year, but it could have been sophomore year, I think. It was certainly around there. It was freshman year. I definitely started making them freshman year, yeah. Because I remember, the only reason I remember that is because my English class, I had 2 English teachers because I did really shitty on the one of those the park test, I think, or whatever at junior high. I did really shitty on because I'm terrible at tests and I hate essays. And so I ended up in the lower English class. So I had 2 English teachers. Love them both. They were both great. Love them both. Platonically, of course, as teachers.
So
I remember that because I actually gave them both scale mates. Yeah, that's why I remember that. And I got into making them because I wanted to make scale mates for Cherezi, and the patterns, and because they're adorable. Yeah. And I have actually let's see, I can see them from here, so I'll just count them. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 scale mates.
Do you still have your first one yet you ever made ever?
Oh yeah, he is still missing an eye, I think. It was supposed to be a lemon snout, but he's really badly made. At some point I'm gonna make another lemon snout. At some point.
Where did you get the skill to do it though? Or were you always
I
crafty?
bought a pattern. Or not, I didn't buy a pattern. I printed one out from a DeviantArt person. They have a lot of great patterns. They've got a Smuppet pattern. They've got a Goat Dad pattern, which I did use. They've also got a Tinkerbell pattern and a bunch of other patterns for Homestuck plushies.
So you were just one day I'm just gonna do this. You didn't have any background or nothing. You're just gonna do it and see how it goes, and then
Hell yeah. I mean, in the past I've tried sewing things. When I was younger, my dad and it was pretty much my dad. I didn't really do anything. We made a cat plush. Still have that somewhere around here. It's really bad, really soft, and the fabric was really bad to use. But that one was one of the first things we did. But since then, the scale mates were actually the first thing I tried to sew, I think. Myself. Stuffed animal wise.
So how do you stuff them? Do you just leave the head open or something and then put the stuffing in there and then you sew the head on, or?
Well, you've got to flip the head inside out or outside in somehow, since you obviously the part that you sew, the seams are on the inside. So there's a hole that you cut in the bottom of the head, which also is where you connect the neck. There's a hole in the bottom of the head where you flip it and you stuff it. And then you sew it onto the neck, which covers up the hole completely, unless you made the hole way too damn big, and then you're kind of on your own. And the body, it's pretty easy to stuff as well, because it's really easy to flip, and it's just got the area where you attach the neck to the head is just a big, massive opening, because it's not like you need to close anything like you would a head with the bottom of a head. The legs are also equally simple, because they're just kind of little stockings that you sew onto the body.
That's funny. Do you think that you making the scale mates Honestly, you were making them in high school, right? Like when you
Yeah.
were, so like when you were making them in high school, like when you were between your schoolwork and everything else, was it kind of like an escape for you?
I never really needed to escape for much. If I need to escape, I use anime for that, to be honest. Anime is kind of like my escape. I love anime.
What?
Go on.
No, I'm sorry, but not even cosplay either. Cosplay wasn't an escape.
Cosplay is more of like an excuse to be someone else for me, or to, well, actually, it's more so like an excuse to make friends with people in the same fandom. Because, for example, I feel awkward hanging around or talking to people for longer than like a photo. Who, like, for example, let's say I'm cosplaying Homestuck and I go up to someone in My Hero Academia cosplay. I might get a picture with them, but I might feel awkward talking with them for longer than it does for too long. And but if I go up to someone in a Homestuck cosplay, I can just chatter away and make friends with them. Although this last con at Con Elite, I had a much easier time talking to people in other cosplays. It's just that, or in other fandoms. It's just that, but I'm not quite as shy as I was at Midwest Say last year, and I've well, to be exact, I think the full reasoning why I don't mind as much talking to people in other fandoms is that, like, I want to talk to them because they've got a really cool cosplay and I want to be friends with them mostly. And I've stopped worrying about what other people care as much, because the main reason why I'd have trouble talking to people in other cosplays or in other fandoms is mostly because I didn't want to bother them and whatnot, because it feels like I didn't want to disturb them from what they were doing, and I just felt out of place because, for example, with Homestuck, a lot of people know it, but people don't usually. A lot of people I meet don't always know who you're cosplaying, or it could be the same thing with any fandom, really. Like they don't know who you're cosplaying. You just feel out of place, really. But at this point, I've really kind of, actually, I should backtrack on that one a bit. Not that I feel out of place mostly now. It's just that, like, sometimes when you catch someone's attention when they're distracted, they still have their resting face on instead of like a smile or anything like that, and the resting face of most people isn't most friendly. It's just more of like a blank look, and with some people just have like a resting bitch face. And I would just, since I was more shy, I'd be just like, oh god, I feel more afraid now. But at this point, I've really stopped caring. Or at this point, I've stopped caring what other people think. So I'm just like, I'll just talk to them, and if they don't really like me, I'll just get my picture and go.
I mean, like, does the so when you were a junior high, I mean, like, what? I feel like whatchamacallit? I'm not trying to sound like oh, I forgot, but like, what, you're a junior or senior right now, right?
I graduated, going to college at the end of this month.
Yeah, so junior year was really a height for you. It was really a high, not really a high, but like a really high point of your life.
You know what was a high point of my life? Senior year. Senior year was great. I didn't have to do much work. At least I don't think I did. Had a great time, and I went to more cons. That was a high point.
Was it, you weren't working at the same time, right? Like, you were
I was working at, in senior year, yeah. I like working. Working's fun. I like school, too.
Man, you like, the thing I like about you is that, like, you like all these things that people aren't usually liking.
I like school! Yay!
No, I mean, school's cool. I mean, like, don't do drugs, staying school kids, all that. But, like, working, like
working's fun and I make money.
Well, I mean, you're probably saying that because you get along with everyone at your job.
I do get along with everyone at my job, except for this one guy I don't like. He's so angry. He gets angry about everything. I'm just like, what did I do?
like I don't know. You did everything that you could.
Like, don't look at my bags. Where am I supposed to look? Go do your job. and stop looking at my bags. I can't. There's someone in front of my register.
So if you were to summarize all of high school in like a big red bow or whatever you want to call it, what would you describe it as?
In one word or in three? Because I've got options for both.
Both if you like.
Okay, one word. Awesome. 3 words. Fan-fucking-tastic.
Oh God. Did you didn't, but you don't believe you had your low points in high school either?
I did not have my low points in high school, no. My low points were probably junior high. or elementary school. I could see that too. I was great in elementary school, just still ridiculously shy. Also, apparently I threw like temper tantrums about homework. Homework sucked in elementary school. In 2nd grade, I would get a ridiculous amount of homework, and they'd be just like, this is getting you prepared for next year. You're going to get a lot of homework next year. Next year comes around. Where's the homework?
I mean, like...
2nd grade. They said I'd have lots of homework in 3rd grade during 2nd grade. Who gets lots of homework in 2nd and 3rd grade?
Toddlers with really big brains.
Yeah, that was not me.
I mean, but I'm pretty sure though, if you were who you are today, back in 2nd grade with all that homework, I'm pretty sure you'd be like, I love this.
Actually, I'd still hate it, but it'd be really easy. It was really easy homework. Since I was not as smart then, obviously, I didn't really get it.
but since you like school and work and all that stuff, I'm pretty sure you love homework.
I like school and I like work, but I still don't like homework. It just depends on the homework. I was never a big fan of the science or the math. Now, with the math, if I understood it, I didn't mind doing it. I usually finished it at school. Same thing with science. It's just that they didn't explain it well.
That's pretty cool. And I mean, when you look back on your life, high school, junior high, elementary school, your childhood before school, and all that stuff, like, do you think you've been living a good life? Like, you live like the best life right now, as of right now?
Pretty much. There are some things that I wish I had kind of done a bit sooner, like with my home life, because there's one thing going on that I'm not going to get into, nor do I want to.
Yeah.
But basically, something happened, and it really kind of was a kind of a turning point for me, and I kind of wish I had done it sooner, because the kind of things at home kind of changed after that, and it was kind of great.
That's pretty cool. If it's for a good reason, that's fantastic.
It was for a good reason. The method wasn't the best, but it was probably the only one I could have used.
Well, that's really awesome, really. And so now you're graduated. You're out of high school.
Yeah.
And now you're going off to college. And if I remember from the past, you said you had full intentions to go to the anime school of college. No, the college school or whatever of anime.
The Tokyo School of Anime. And yes, I would love to go there, but for right now, I'm going to be going to the MCC Community College. Because, it's nearby, so that's great. I still need to learn more Japanese. If I can go to the anime college, I will, but it's less of a priority now for me because I've got other options for what I can do. And I've got a bigger plan. Now, sure, I still want to go into the anime industry, and I'm going to, I want to make manga, which I'll probably do. I'll probably do webcomics, though, because I can do that from anywhere.
Yeah.
And, I don't have to write in Japanese either, so that's great.
do you still have intentions to go to Japan and check it out?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I would love to go to Japan and stuff like that. I would love to live there as well if I can, but even if it's only, temporary, I would just love to be there, I think. I really enjoy their culture. But, right now my higher priority is trying to get my business education and, get better at my art. Also get more money. I need more money.
Wait, you're
a lot more money.
You're trying to graduate in a business degree?
Yeah, because I've got this really great idea for an anime business, where basically it's kind of like a place anime fans or even people who don't like anime and want to experience can go, in the city, basically, or travel to the city to go to. It's going to be a pretty large-scale
Oh,
business.
dude.
Not.
No, get this. No, get this.
Yeah.
I got an idea. I know. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I got some. There's something I want to tell you about. I had this idea, right? It's a bit.
Yeah.
What if we like started like this business, not business, but this thing where like it's like an indoor building that's open all year round, and people can just go there to meet up, host like it'd basically be a con without the vendor hall. It'd be like panel rooms.
Well, if I explain, well, actually, no. Explaining my idea could probably even have its own thing, but basically that's kind of what I'm thinking. Except it's going to have like a cafe area with anime-themed foods, a screening area, a manga library, also a gaming area, and of course, you can't have an anime place without at least a small apparel shop. And I've got lots of ways to branch off, and we're going to have a thing that's going to be kind of like panels as well. It's going to be happening, and it's really not hard to explain. It's easy for me to explain. It just takes a long time to explain. So I could probably have its own show episode thing, honestly, but it's really large scale. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do a whole episode on your potential business.
My potential business, and maybe we can get some supporters who help me out, because I'm going to need employees and money.
So, like, do you think with this idea that you're starting, like, I can throw my hat into making something into that? I mean, like something Homestuck related or the panel thing or whatever. Do you think that'd be cool?
I got about half of that. My brain kind of spaced there for a second. I don't know why.
What's that?
I got about half of what you just said.
No. I said. Do you think it'd be cool if I could throw my hat a little bit into it and help out a little bit? To help your business.
Probably, yeah. But I'm going to be starting it in Japan first for sure, because that's where the main. Since everyone in Japan reads manga and anime is just kind of their normal cartoons there, it'd be easiest to start there before I branch off to America.
That's true. But
so I'm going to be starting it there, and there are 3 main big cities before branching off to over here.
I think it's a fantastic idea if you're asking me. I really think you did. I really think that will really blast off.
Yeah. I've been brainstorming it for about 2 years now. Or what? Well, it might have been 1 year, but approximately that amount of time. I don't have much done for it yet. I just have the idea and basic ideas for what I need to do for it.
So in your life, where it's standing right now is are you excited for what is going to be coming next, and do you have everything that you ever wanted at this point right now?
Do I have everything I ever wanted? No, because I want Bowie. He's dead. But I am kind of excited about what's to come, mostly because I'm really excited for Anime Midwest. I've got a lot of cosplays to finish for that, so I'm not looking forward to finishing those, because that's going to be a pain. But I'm really looking forward to stuff that's going to happen in the future, because I really hope my business idea will go well, and I really am looking forward to Anime Midwest.
Yeah, it's that's probably going to be my next convention, because I'm probably going to have this Miss C2E2 this year, because I usually go every year, but I
went to C2E2 last year, and it was okay, but I wasn't really the biggest fan of it, because, the really fun thing they had was the Artist Alley, and that was really all I could, get into, really. Otherwise, I was just kind of meh. And I got a picture with David Tennant, so that was awesome. That was the main reason I went, David Tennant.
Well, you didn't have fun looking at all the different kind of booths and outside of ours?
Oh, no, I did. There was nothing else to do.
Are you more where's the panels, where's this, where's that?
I'm more of a panel person. I mean, sure, artist alleys and booths are great, but there's only so much you can do with them, and I only have so much money.
No, it's all right. So, I guess this is an appropriate time that we can talk about where we can speculate about the Aki Bento box.
Yeah.
So tell us about the last one you got and what you're speculating what could be in the next one. Just off
Well,
of...
the last one was the December one. It was oh, I'm blanking on what the theme was, but I got a really awesome ornament, anime themed ornament, which I totally did not break. And
You totally did, didn't you?
No, I didn't. No, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I got this little box thing with a the No Game No Life girl on it. And Shiro's the girl, I think, unless that's the boy. It's got the girl from No Game No Life on it, and not really sure what to do with the box. But what I thought was funny about the container for the box, it says small parts, choking hazard, warning for young children. But this thing, I couldn't even fit into my mouth if I wanted to. I don't know how a baby's gonna get in their mouth. And then there was quite a few really awesome things, like, oh, I can't remember if it was the box. Oh, I got a Shiro patch and a few other really cool things, but it was a pretty great little box. And to be perfectly honest, the Aki Bento site does tell you the theme for the next box and what shows will be in it, but it won't tell you what's in the box.
Mm-hmm.
The box for this next month is Ignite. It's going to have Fire Force, Soul Eater, and Fairy Tail. 3 animes I like, so I'm pretty excited and looking forward to this one.
Let's speculate. What do you think is going to be in there? What do you think the items are going to be?
Well, it's going to have a shirt for sure, because the Aki Bentos always have a shirt and a pin.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've got no idea what else they're going to have. They could have anything. They could have a figure. They could have a manga. They could have have a keychain or a patch. They like to patch. They really do like the patches, but half the time I get characters I don't know or from shows I don't really care about.
Do you think that this box will rank? I mean, if we were going to go with a ranking, what's your ranking on December's box, and what do you think your rating is going to be from what you know on
like
this new
ranking
box?
out of like 1 to 10, or like, I don't know, like first place, second place.
No, like 1 out of 5 stars.
Ah, yeah, stars. Well, let's see. I don't know. I don't really think too deeply about the boxes. Like, there was this one, the November one had like a comedy theme, and that one would definitely be a 5-star for me, because I got an Owo Uwu hat beanie.
Yeah.
And then the December one might be like, at the very least, a 4, I think. If it's not a 5, it's a 4, because I can't quite remember everything I got in it. But I did also break the ornament by accident, because I ripped the part that, hang it off of it, because it was only kind of lightly, it wasn't glued on very well. So when I was trying to get it out of its packaging, it just kind of popped off. I'm just like, oh, I can't hang it anymore.
I guess since we're talking about it real quickly, we should just, like, in this episode, just talk about what introduced you to the Aki Bento box, and why did you sign up for it? Like, when and why did you sign up for it?
Well, it was introduced to the Aki Bento box by the YouTuber Aki Dearest, because I like watching her videos, and her and the Anime Man both unbox Aki Bento boxes every month. And then I thought to myself, I want to get one of these. So for 1 month, I got one, and then just every once in a while, I would get a box. But this time, I got a much longer subscription for I believe it was my birthday or something. So I got quite a few months out of this one. I don't quite know how many more months I have left in this one before it runs out of the amount before I cancel it. The subscriptions are a little pricey, but the contents of the box kind of outweigh the price, as in being more so, that is. You get more for your money, basically. But I also, well, for starters, it was my dad's money, and didn't want him to keep paying for my boxes. At some point I'll get another subscription, but for now, I'm just gonna go until this thing runs out of the money we gave it.
So I got an idea. If you're down for this idea, we should I'm gonna make a Facebook page for this podcast, obviously, so people can like it and support it and all that. But how cool would it be if every time you get Aki Bento box, you film it and you review it and you talk about it, like you talk about the Aki Bento, you don't talk. Well, you don't have to really have to talk about it because we'll do that on here at the end of every episode, like we're doing right now. But how cool would it be for you to unbox it and show everyone your Aki Bento box and then you give your thoughts on the show every week? Wouldn't that be cool?
I mean, that would be pretty cool, but I don't know. I run out of thoughts pretty quickly. Because, it's like when you give... So, you know how sometimes people are just for example, what comes to your mind first when you hear, when I say blue or whatever, and my brain kind of just goes blank.
Yeah.
My brain's just blue? That's what comes to my mind when I hear blue. Well, I'm kind of out of ideas at that point, because my brain just kind of goes as far. Basically, it doesn't go very far unless I'm on a roll with an idea or something. Because
I feel when you're doing it, you just have the box next to you. When you're about to talk about it, you just have the box next to you.
Yeah, but when people want me to talk about things, if I don't know much about it, I can't really say much. Oh yeah, this is an ornament, and I broke it.
Yeah. What was the ornament anyway? What was it?
It's oh shit! Oh no! Oh dear! I knocked stuff over, and there it goes. But it's a character that I don't really know. I mean, just some girl from some anime that I am not the most familiar with.
And you decide to hang it up on your tree anyway?
Nope, I still need to glue the thing back onto it so I can hang it.
Yeah.
It still needs to be glued back together, basically.
Yeah, so with all that said, I think this was a great episode 1 of In the Serpents Pit with Serpents Breakdown.
Hell yeah.
Man,
stuff's falling.
I'm about to make the social media for you, but since this is your podcast, you wanna I'm just the host of Chug It Along. Do you wanna put out the social media for possibly we're gonna have? I'm gonna make a Facebook page for it, obviously, but anything else?
Oh, I don't know what the social media be. I can say my Instagram. That's something I can say.
Yeah, say your Instagram then.
All right. My Instagram is Serpents Breakdown. All lowercase, nothing special about it. People have trouble with that, though, for some reason. Just Serpents and Breakdown.
It's that simple, everyone. Serpents Breakdown. Okay. You can follow this guy on Facebook at my podcast page for my podcast, Cyber Time Bite. You can follow me on Twitter at NostalgiaVamp. And I'm not gonna plug my merchandise because this is my podcast, so it isn't fair for me to be doing that here. But we will get. But once this podcast starts to get a little bit higher, we'll make some In the Serpent Pit with Serpents Breakdown merch, and you guys can wear that around and be like, yeah. But yeah, I'll let you do the honors and let you close this out for it.
Oh no, I have to close it already. Well, I guess that this is, I can't say it's been another episode because it's the first episode. This has been the first episode of In the Serpent's Pit with me. And, well, I guess I hope anyone who checks this out can, come hang out with us again for the next episode. I don't really do outros well.
No, it's fine. But I want to remind everyone that next week we're gonna dive into the Serpents music tastes, which will consist of a lot of 80s
And Dave Bowie.
and David Bowie, obviously.
Mostly Dave Bowie.
And it's going to be fun. We're going to have a great time. And
Yeah.
upload days we were talking about, and I was thinking maybe Saturdays we upload these.
My busiest day,
Well,
aside from work.
well, I mean, I would be the one uploading them.
Well, yeah, I know.
But then you can listen to it later.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, she did the outro, so I don't have to do it again. But
Or you could.
well, I can. Well, thank you everyone for listening to episode 1 of In the Serpent's Pit with Serpents Breakdown. We will next week, like I said, next week we're going to talk about Serpent's music taste, and we're just going to talk about music in general, and do you know what? And we can also talk about Serpent's interesting main Instagram page, not the art page, the interesting main Instagram page. We'll talk about the art page like third episode. But yeah, thank you everyone for listening, and I hope all of you have a great day. See you next time.
See you next time. Yeah.